Hello everyone, this is White Wolf, and we're going to be talking about showing compassion. I want to give a shout out to all of my clients this week, and also Emerald Eyes, my recent client. We had a very interesting dialogue, and I wanted to talk about the dialogue of and the intricacy of really showing compassion on this earth plane and what it means to show compassion, what it means to demonstrate compassion, but also where the compassion is coming from, and aligning to your truth and wanting it to be of a genuine source of energy and wanting that truth to be aligned with who you are, but also being able to be a reflector, so that you're able to reflect this wisdom and you're able to reflect it in a way of teaching, so that you're learning discernment and you're showing intricate care, and you're also coming from a standpoint where you're reflecting to that person that it's not coming from a filter, it's not coming from an opinion, but it's coming from a sense of confirmation. It's coming from a sense of the divine source of energy, and it's allowing to shine through everything that you do, and it's allowing you to be that representation of showing compassion and showing that non-dual awareness in everything, and showing that presence to another person, so that they're able to learn and discern and how to get out of their own bubble, to get out of their own generation of energy, so that they can tap into a different energy, but you're also reflecting that love and that light back into that person. And so that you're able to show that compassion, and you're able to be present with them and to be able to give them what they need from the standpoint on where they're channeling, and you're able to channel from their standpoint and be able to deliver to them what they exactly need at that point in time, so that you're allowing that person to receive that compassion, but also to feel like they had an answer to a question. But then it allows them to prime the seeking impulse inside of themselves, so that they are allowing themselves to see that I'm seeking validation, I'm seeking confirmation, I'm seeking peace along my journey. And as I'm allowing myself to do that, I'm allowing myself to generate from my own source of creation, which comes from your gut, which comes from your heart and your mind, and you're developing something I call the twin heart. So there's a coherence, but there's also seeing past the misaligned perceptions, and it's seeing past the misaligned projections on this earth plane, so that we are able to deal in truth and not deal within deception, within the illusion, but also to bring awareness and wisdom and discernment and teaching to that person right then and there. And then it's like, wow, you answered my question, or I feel so much better because you said it in that way. But energetically, when we are showing compassion to another person and demonstrating that, there's a change inside of them. You give them what they need, you give them what they want, but you also give them the truth, and you give them unconditional love, and then they're able to reflect that unconditional love to another person. And it's so beautiful because you're demonstrating that you're ready, that you're confident, but you're also empowered to find that it is rhythm and harmony that protects us from fatigue. If you have a consistent syncopation with your vibration, when you have that direct alignment coming from your heart and it's not coming from anywhere else, there's no side energy, there's not what Becky said down the street, there's nothing in the way of what you're delivering as this realm, and it's just pure amazement. It's the pure gaze of God's source energy. So when we find out how to show compassion, but just demonstrate it, but to live it. So what you're giving to another person, you're giving them what they need, you're helping them with their desires, you're helping them empower themselves, but you're also helping them channel from their own source of genuine energy, so that there is a synchronization of what they want, how to set the miracle in motion, how to set manifestations of motions, but to align those intentions with what they want. So they know that they can send out what we realize how we can be, how we can really channel that energy, but also allow them to feel that compassion if they never felt it in their lives. Also, guys, book private sessions. Don't forget, $70 for 1 hour, not 70 hours. $70 for 1 hour, $60 for healing, activation, and Cashapp record, and $40 for 30 minutes. So, and my clients have been really, really amazing. They've been so amazing. They've been developing themselves, and also And a lot of us are birthing things into this reality, this space-time continuum. We're birthing this into awareness. Some of you have twins, some of you have triplets, some of you have quadruplets. So you're birthing that into awareness and giving it a new love, a new light, and a new wisdom so that it can channel from its oracle. And the reason why a lot of us are channeling our higher selves is because we can't solely depend on the mind and we can't solely depend on the body. But we let the divine use us as a divine instrument, as a way of demonstrating compassion, as a way of relaying the message, but sharing the message, but reflecting that message so that there is a sense of discernment. There's a sense of discernment when you're relaying that message. And it's that deep water horizon that you're laying out for everybody. And it's allowing you to come from that sense of anointing, to come from that drive, to come from that motivation, but you're doing it with a sense of accountability. So any type of psychology, any type of illness, those are all distortions that we're healing on this earth plane. So when you have conviction within your faith, when you have truth within your tool belt, when you're able to not channel from your mind, not channel from your body, but just channeling from the first brain, which is the heart, which pumps the blood and allows you to focus on everything and allows you to breathe and live, because without the heart, you don't have anything, right? So I'm trying to bring this at a grounded level. So if you develop the filter to where you are channeling from that embodiment, and you don't have to base it on a subject matter, you don't have to base it on an explanation, you don't have to base it on a concept. But if you just absolutely know, without a shadow of a doubt, the truth of all that there is, and becoming that oracle of love, light, and wisdom right here, right now, then everything else is blocked away from you. So you're not thinking chaotically, you're not going in a pattern, you're not doing a past lifetime progression where you keep making the same mistakes and you keep attracting the same relationships. But also, you're showing yourself compassion when you're doing this, because you're not letting yourself get away with living your life in this way, because you're just channeling from your own truth. You're not letting your life be disharmonized, following these distortions, allowing illusions to dictate who you are, or feeling like somebody has the power over you to make you feel bad, which is not a real thing. But you have the ability to have the power and to have the direct perception, and also have the anointing and the grace to know that you have control over your own energy. Even if you have moments in the morning where you're healing and you're integrating, but you don't stay that way, and you don't stay there for too long, because you get back into sync with who you are. So it's kind of like the 90% and the 10%. So 90% of the time, you're in vibrational alignment, you're in sync with yourself, you're saying your affirmations, you're meditating, you're focusing upon your intention and meditating upon the I am presence. But then the 10% allows you to balance everything out with a divine feminine essence. Because without the divine feminine, we don't have the masculine. And the masculine needs the divine feminine, and the divine feminine needs the masculine. But it all stems from that divine feminine egg of fertility that allows us to grow, but allows us to plant seeds. So it allows those seeds to germinate, but it gives it the water that it needs. It gives it the provision that it needs. And it gives you an endless supply and something to go on. It allows you to have a sense of direction, but also allows you to have a metaphysical compass. You can go many different directions with this. You can go north, east, south, and west, but it will all lead you back to that direct alignment. So no matter how many times we always going within the revolving door. Every time we keep going back to certain patterns, we go back to certain situations or certain ways of reflecting. You just have to nip that in the bud, and you just have to figure it out. And you also just have to ask your guides and your higher self and God just to help you. And they will help you, and they will clear you, and they will do that metaphysical surgery that you need. But do you want to stay there is the question. Do you want to stay there? Do you want to resonate there? Or do you want to ditch that and you want to follow a new alignment? So we can't have disbelief, and we can't be disingenuous towards ourselves or what we want, because then we're not using those aligned switch words. We're not using the words of power, but also just feeling into the vibration before you experience it. So it's like, is it necessary to have someone else do candle work for you? If that's in resonance, if that's really what you need, if you need assistance. So it's just asking yourself, do I need that assistance? Do I need someone to do that candle work for me? And like this person said, and he just shared out my life, thank you so much. Don't forget, guys, you can book private sessions with me for psychic readings, healings, activations. I have Cashapp, whitewolftheoracle, paypal.me, Jacob Dylan Wolf. 1 hour for $70, $60 for activations, healings, and Akashic records, and also $40 for 30 minutes. And joy is greater than health and success. It can exist amidst sickness and humiliation. That is the only thing you need to know. If I don't say anything else on this live, that is the greatest wisdom that someone can give you. When you are sick of your sickness, then you're completely transcended the human condition. When you're tired of not being prosperous, then you will become prosperous. If you're tired of not being able to meditate better, then you force yourself to meditate so that your meditations get more powerful, and then you have that radiation and you have that dedication, forcing yourself to do the things that you don't even want to do, even if it's challenging, even if it makes you angry, even if it makes you in a frenzy, or if you feel like it's so difficult, I don't have the guidance. God will always swoop in and show you what you need to do, and will reflect that mirror within yourself. He gets it. You get it. And that's what's beautiful. And that is how all of us are interconnected within this earth plane. That's how we're all connected, and we all have specific gifts. It's not one person, but it's a singular truth that surpasses all understanding. It's a singular truth that surpasses all understanding. But if you know that surpasses all understanding, then that means anything else that tries to come against it doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean jack. But it really just means that you're in vibrational alignment, and you want to stay there, and you want to stay within that presence of that awareness, so that it can represent everything that you're trying to create. So everything will have to move around you. The world will have to revolve around you because of your vibration. And this person asked, can you channel? I'm channeling my higher self right now. So yes, I can. So it's all coming to this. A lot of us are having acceleration, but all of us are showing compassion and leadership and love in such a great transcendent way that it has not yet been seen in this earth plane for a very long time, not even in the 90s. But it's coming into balance, and it's coming in very rapidly, so that the children of the cosmos, the 5 generations of light workers that are coming into this earth plane, and the first and second wave need teachers. So they need that teaching and that discernment and experience, so that they're not running around like a chicken with their heads cut off. So we have a sense of direction, but we have a sense of focus. So we're carrying the torch for the new generation. It's called the Sacred Flame. But it's also impacting the world with this golden age knowledge in 2030, so that we're prepping ourselves to really understand what we're coming into the way showers, the grid workers, the light workers, the clairaudience, clairsentience, anything that you are doesn't matter. Some of you are so vast that some of you are never really going to understand you. And it's because of your energy and it's because of your vibration. But you will find the prophets that will understand you, and they will approach you, and they will want to receive from you. And that's why there is resonance. But we can't always give everybody the answer, because then that's an infringement upon free will. We can't give everybody the answer because they have to decipher it for themselves. They have to decipher the cryptic codes and the cosmic encoding that is on this earth plane. So we can't give everybody the answer, but we do lead them to question themselves, but to question everything. But we lead them to seek on their own so that we're not imposing upon their free will, so that they're able to learn at the rate of speed on which they're supposed to learn and be reflected. And then they're balancing the physical side, the psychological side. It's not flawless, okay? And the non-physical side of spirituality. But it's not necessarily therapy. It's not necessarily a teaching. It's not necessarily the knowledge that we learn about in school. But it's the knowledge and the laws of the universe that we accumulate in learning about our free will. That we have the willingness of choice, that we have options, that we have everything at our disposal to become who we are. So it's just using the tools, it's using the guidance, but it's also using everything around you as a way of reflection and mirroring that back. The way to show compassion is to show up. It's just you showing up. If you want to show up right now, just show up and just be changed in an instant. That I show up for my life every single day. I am dedicated. I am wise. I am loving. I am a genuine source of energy. Then that changes the whole flavor of it. I'm not saying sit on your couch and just say that and expect your life to change. You still have to work at it. But once you get the hang of it and you get into the groove of things, you'll start to see that life will become easier for you when you demonstrate an act of service and you're willing to show that compassion to other hearts and minds, and that you're able to reach people that will resonate with you. But showing compassion is really showing unconditional love, not the love that we think, not the enabling love, because then you're enabling people's distortions, their childhood trauma, their past trauma, their past lives, and then you're enabling that within them and not allowing them to grow instead of reflecting to them with wisdom. And then you have to get to a point where, how do I send this word picture to them? How do I reflect to them? How do I use wisdom? But also, how do I use discernment? So I'm allowing them to get what they absolutely need at that point in time. So I can allow them to receive that at that point in time. So they can get what they need. And then they get the change inside of them. Rather it's answering a question. Rather it's just doing, like a person said, can I have a chakra clearing? That's not the kind of live that I'm doing. I'm doing a meditation though. You can take part in this meditation. And like this guy, I don't know who this guy is, but he's definitely on point, and he's definitely, what happens when you're getting knowledge and then someone says something and then another person says something that's directly correlated to what's being said means that there is a repetition, but a syncopation between energy, and the chakras are like in sync with one another. So that's very beautiful that he said that. The attitude towards labor and reluctance needs to change. Reluctance needs to change. Tendency of thought must be overcome. That's right. But it's just a simple, it's easier to smile than it is to frown. It's as simple as that. It's as easy as changing your routine. It's as easy as changing your thought process. It's as easy as stop being around certain people. It's as easy as just going your own way and knowing that you're fed up with the way that humanity has become and doing something about it so you can bring about healing and wonder and miracles to this earth. And it's just as simple as that. Oh, I got my energy drink in my eye a little bit. That was not fun. Whew. I did too. So we're going to do the meditation. If you see that my eye is a little red, I got a little bit of my energy drink in there, but it's okay. I'll live. So if you're coming on to the meditation, feel free to relax. Feel free to stretch your neck, your back, and also just get into a relaxed, calm state of mind, body, and spirit. Everybody take a deep breath. Exhale. And I want you to find ways to be a leader, to be balanced within your masculine and feminine, and to just also bring harmony wherever you go. Change the energy wherever you go. Be that energetic force field that changes everything around itself. Know that you are the direct source. Not that you're God Almighty, but God Almighty wants you to know that you're the direct source, following your own inner intuition that comes from your gut, your heart, and your mind. You will never be led astray, ever. You will never be led astray, ever. You will always be guided to where you need to be, and you will always follow the prophecy that's set before you. But what human beings are doing is showing their compassion by sharing their gifts, sharing their words of wisdom, sharing the heart that they have inside of themselves so that they are able to reflect to other human beings, so that they can radiate that love and that light and give off that radiance to another person. And allow that radiance to just swell up their entire reality. And then they start becoming that seed that takes in the water and starts to grow, and then they start planting seeds. And then they move on to the next person. And then that's how we show and demonstrate compassion to other people. Because we're not allowing them to continue their revolving door, their patterns, their shadow, but also not enabling their ego either. We're allowing them to erase that ego, to have a purified ego, so that they are channeling from their own intuition and allowing them to see through the truth of all that there is, and seeing through the truth of their own self-deceit, if you will. And when you do that, people will love you for it. They will love you for being real, keeping it 100. They will love you because of you showing up to your life, becoming a leader, becoming a way shower, and becoming a way to clear this energy on this earth and help people and guide them. And then you will see that everybody will start demonstrating their own self-love within themselves, because you have to love yourself before you love another person. And then when you do, and you empower that, and you heal that, and you integrate it, and you develop the sense of prosperity, and you follow your anointing no matter what happens, no matter what goes on, you walk over the coals because it's your anointing. You're not afraid of the hot coals. You're not focused on how hot it is on your feet. You're not focusing on how cold the water is. even if you have to ease into it, but then you'll see the benefit of it. Or going for a run after you meditate, because we have to recalibrate when we meditate. It's like going on that run. I forced myself this morning to go on that run. I made myself do it, even when I didn't want to do it. Even when I was healing this morning, I forced myself to do it. And then that will build a stability within yourself that will give you a strong foundation to channel from. And you don't have to necessarily channel Archangel Michael. If you need to channel Archangel Michael, but when you are able to channel your own source of creation, then you won't have to channel other beings. But other beings, when you're channeling them, you're wanting to learn from those other beings. So that's why you channel. But you have to use that discernment on what you want to do. So yes, if you need to channel Ra, channel Ra. If you need to channel Archangel Michael, he has something to show you. And that's the same thing in life. And as we grow and as we expand and as we become more of who we are, we're just channeling off of the energy of who we are. We're mass channeling that energy. So we can step into that power, finally. And to know that it's our birthright to step into that power. You have a reason to exist, so exist. And have fun while you're doing it, too. Have fun while you are existing. Still have a childlike innocence. Still have fun. Still enjoy your life. But don't take yourself so seriously, but still remain within that authority. Because true power is not something that you have to try to do, but it's just something that you allow. And people will just generally see that, wow, that person demonstrates that power. And know that's where you all are going into. Myself. And just coming from a grounded, humble place. Know that you had humble beginnings, but your journeys are not over. And you have another humble beginning. But it's not the humble beginning that you had at the beginning, but it's more of a stepping off point. It's more of just blasting yourself within the rocket. It's just catapulting yourself into more stepping stones. And just going into that great beyond, that absolute reality that wants to know you once again. Don't be afraid. Don't think about it too hard. But just let it be. And God will show you the way. Your guides, your higher selves will show you the way, and you will become the way, the love, the light, and the oracle of love, light, and wisdom, which is God manifested in the human form. Everybody take one last deep breath. Exhale. And so it is. And when you give that loving gaze to another person and you're just kind of locked in, you're just allowing them to let them know that you love them, that you care for them, and that you're there for them, and you're in that moment. And that's what makes it beautiful. You're just there. So I want to let you guys know that you can book private sessions if you need to. Cashapp, whitewolftheoracle, and PayPal.me, Jacob Dylan Wolf. I know that you guys see my actual name, but I don't identify with that. I would like it if you guys would call me White Wolf, because that's what I go by, and also just to keep it professional. So, and also just thank you guys for all of you who have received all my late night readings and all my clients that I've had all week. I've had a busy week. I've been booked pretty much all week. And I want to thank you for your comments. You were definitely not repelling, but you were just channeling off of the energy of the words, but also you were just like in sync with what I was saying. And that's what you were doing. And that was amazing. And I want to thank you guys so much, because you guys make this possible. You guys are always graceful and grateful every time I go live. You guys always give me like 4,000 likes. And it does not go unnoticed, because we need other individuals. We need other people so that we can do this as a way of nurturing, as a way of caring, as a way of loving each other. And if some of you have been hesitant to do this, just know that it's coming. And if you've had to learn, if you've had to study, sometimes it just takes some time. Oh, hi. Hi. We just had a session, so thank you. So one last thing that I would like to give to you guys is just to soak, just to resonate, but just to receive every single day. Just to imbibe. And just to allow. And just know that it'll be like a boomerang that you throw out into the ethers. You throw that boomerang, and it instantly comes back. And just know that life can be like that. So, C. Trent, you said this. I felt this in my spirit, and first time to your platform, and I want to learn. I have private sessions that you can book. It's only $70 for 1 hour, $60 for an hour for healing, activations, codes, downloads, and $40 for 30 minutes. So I have Cash App and PayPal, but also I have a YouTube channel that you can watch some of my videos. White Wolf the Oracle. I have hour-long videos, not hour-long, but mostly 30 minutes to an hour of meditations, and also I do healing energies as well, depending on what I'm feeling within the moment. So that's why I try to make my lives diverse, because my guides and my higher self always tell me to do certain things, and I have to follow that parameter and that obedience. So, and that's the one thing I could tell you guys, just follow your parameters, follow your obedience, and follow your own power. And just be happy. I made a decision a long time ago that I just wanted to stop feeling bad. I wanted to stop feeling bad. And healing is not feeling bad. When you feel like shit, it's not necessarily feeling bad, but it's just snapping you back into alignment. It's just kind of like that. And it's just getting you back into sync. It's not necessarily feeling bad. But feeling bad is just continuing the cycle. It's continuing to feel bad. It's perpetuating it and believing in it, and only going from that standpoint. And when we dissolve all that, then we change it. Thank you. Boomerang time. Yeah, I have a feeling we're going to have a private session soon, KK Ford. In each moment, what are you affirming? I'm affirming the standpoint of just following the alignment of who I am and the obedience that's set before me, and implementing the psychic insights that I get into a grounded level. But if you're wanting like a set of affirmations, I am infinitesimally and wonderfully blessed always. I am affirming my path to ascension. So you just change the energy. In each moment, what are you affirming? And then you followed it up with an answer to that. And then you just kind of like collapse timelines. Sometimes putting something off for a really long time and then doing it could collapse a timeline. You changing your belief system could detract situations from yourself in a good way and prevent them. Because you don't want to be with a certain timeline that's not in your resonance, that's not for you. And then you develop like, okay, this is my energy, this is where I want to be, this is where I want to go. And you just follow where you go, and you follow where the energy points you towards. And then it will ultimately guide you wherever you need to go. So but also one thing that I was taught by my girlfriend, who has been my teacher for a long time. In the beginning, she was really my teacher, but now we're teacher to teacher. But looking yourself in the mirror and accepting that person, and it might be really hard when you look into your mirror and you just force yourself to accept that person right then and there. Not looking away, no bullshit. Have that direct perception and just have it right there. And then because you're accepting that you have imperfections, you're accepting that you have stuff to clear. You have shadows, you have emotions, you have other things in your life that you have to clear. But because of the fact that you're acknowledging it, you're going to get past it. You're acknowledging it and recognizing it. You're not running away from it, but then that is spiritually bypassing, and that's not giving yourself compassion. Not real compassion. That's not unconditional love to yourself. And it's a transmutation of energy, like this person said. And just know I look at your guys' comments because as these lies have gotten bigger, I wanted to look at your guys' comments because I used to just give the message. And generally, I try to give the message because I don't want to lose the message. And then when we're done with the meditation, I try to answer as many questions as you got. And one live I'll try to do a Q&A one day. So that, because you guys do have a lot of questions and things of that nature. Instead of, because readings are like asking questions. But they don't necessarily give you the full answer because that would be an infringement upon your free will. That's why it's cryptic and it's general, so that you're able to be like, oh, I recognize that. And then you have that pure activation of light within yourself. So you get that resonance and you get that message and you are connecting the dots as a reader. And then that person's like, oh my God, that was exactly what I needed. So you're giving people exactly what they needed, and you're channeling from their standpoint. Not channeling or feeding off their energy, because that's not what you should do at all. But it's just channeling from where they're at and not being generic in that way, but just giving them exactly what they need. And if you just give people what they need because you ultimately give people what they want, but you can't just tell people what they want to hear. You got to give them the ultimate truth. You got to give them the ultimate truth and the obedience from your guides and your higher self and God. Does that make sense to all of you? I hope it does. Because sometimes when I do these lives, I say a lot of phrases in certain sentences because they want me to allow it to be in a grounded form. So I'm not going so far up the bar to where it can't be in a context or a narrative or a theme, so that you're able to put it in a grounded form to where you are able to intellectualize it. But I love you all. I hope you enjoyed the meditation. It was so funny because I'll be honest with you guys for a moment. This morning I had a lot of clearing. I had the Apostle Paul and Jesus come in, and they were just like helping me heal like 50 levels. And one of the things that you guys can do is call upon your guides to help clear energy. Because sometimes when you're going through your own way and you're saging and stuff and clearing energy, but we do need divine assistance. So don't be afraid to ask for divine assistance. And don't be afraid to call upon like your guides, rather it's the Apostle Paul or Jesus, because Jesus is a teacher. He is a teacher's energy, but also he's a demonstrator of energy, and he's an interpreter of energy. And he's an interpreter of the absolute way, love, and the light. A lot of us are like that, manifested in this human form, because Jesus was God manifested in the human body. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to seek out. And don't be afraid to contact people. But know where your energy lies, always. Know where your energy lies and where your energy needs to be. So I want to thank you guys. My phone is getting a little drained, but don't be afraid to book private sessions, okay? Cashapp, whitewolftheoracle, and paypal.me, Jacob Dylan Wolf. If you want an in-depth reading, if you want to book a private session with me, I do them all off the phone. I will be getting a website soon, and I will be getting a lot of other stuff in order. And I want to give a shout out again to Emerald Eyes as my client. She's still watching, I believe. It was a wonderful session. I was very blessed by the session. And I'm very blessed by all of you, all of my clients. What we do as light workers, we see each other as children so that we can see each other as equals. And we also see each other as each other's teachers as well. So if you can look at everybody like your children or your teacher or your mirror, then you will show compassion automatically. So I want to thank you guys. God bless. Namaste. Thank you guys for taking part in the meditation. And love you. Goodbye. And namaste.